Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom. I get to say it. From Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Stay tuned today. Today's video coming. Cash, credit. Which one is best to do? We're going to talk about this briefly. People ask me. The reason I'm talking about this, I talked about this about 2 years ago. 3 years ago on a video. I take it back. 3 years ago. I looked at it this morning. I reposted it. I go, no. I want to do a video about it. Sorry about the hair. It's just the way it is. Should you get credit to buy a car? Should you get credit to buy a motorcycle? Should you get credit to buy land? Should you get credit at all here in the Philippines? I'm just going to tell you. Credit is bad. Anywhere you get it. Now, there's times I couldn't afford to buy a house. Of course I had to get credit. But you got to look at the age. It's different when I was 20 and I was 30 and 40 and bought a house. And 45, I bought a house. But it's different when you're those ages because you know you got 20, 30 years to pay that back. Here in the Philippines, you can get a motorcycle finance, you can get a car finance, you can get a house finance, you can get your land finance, you can put your land up to get any kind of loan that you want. But you sometimes have to put cash. It's really hard. They'll come inspect the land, and it's like anything else. It's like someone said to me yesterday, I have a car rental business. I rented a Montero, a brand new Montero out to someone. Cash, I came in with the cash. I go to find it, it's gone. Where's the Montero? My GPS, I check it, and it's somewhere over in Zamboanga, which is here. You go to Studio in Zamboanga, you have to take. It's somewhere in Zamboanga. Well, and the GPS is not working now. So this brand new Montero, this guy has a rental business, rented it out to a native Filipino, and now his car's gone. How many million is that? He said it was a little over $2.5 million for that car. A new one. It was brand new. You have to be very careful if you're going to do something. It's funny. Yesterday, I received 2 emails. Should I rent? Should I purchase? Or should I buy? On land, yes. On apartments, yes. On condos right now, buying a condo, you can get a condo really cheap. You can go buy a condo really cheap. They're oversaturated with condos, and they're building more buildings. One Oasis in CDO, when we were there, had 2 buildings. They had it slotted for 5. They couldn't even fill up the 2, and they're going to 5 buildings. Now, 5 buildings that, I forget how many floors, 20, 30 floors. Condos are cheap. You can own it as an American. You can own one. Now, remember, that land is leased also. That land that those condos are on are leased. And the guy that owns the land can actually say, hey, I want to raise my rent and raise rent to every person that's in these buildings. And it's happened. It happened in Davao. I know that. My friend ended up selling his condo he got half what he paid for. Well, but there's advantages of building. There's advantages of having cash. I always tell everybody, if you can afford it, you don't have to build a house. Rent a house, rent an apartment, rent a condo. You can lease a house, lease the land. That is the smartest way. You can lease land with a house on it. The house may not be spectacular. It may not be perfect. It maybe needs, $5,000 worth of work done on the house. But you can lease it for 20 years for 150,000 peso, 250,000 peso. For 10, 20 years, 30 years, 25 years is the limit. So maybe the smart thing to do is pay that $3,000 to $5,000 or $6,000. Lease it for 20 years. Now $6,000 over 20 years, you're okay. You're okay. And so the rental on the cost factor on that's going to be pretty inexpensive. So many guys come here and they open up. The very first thing they do is open up a bank account here, have their checks deposited here, and then come and say to me, I wish I didn't do that because I'm having problems with BDO. I'm having problems with BPI. I'm having problems here. I'm having problems there. And what I mean is I deposit my check and I don't get my money for 15 to 20 days. Well, sometimes the banks will hold on, depending on the branch manager. It's up to the branch manager. You have to make your choice. Don't do that. If you're going to open up a bank account, open up a bank account in your wife's name, use the savings, put some money in, let it roll. Guys tell me, hey man, I've not had a problem here in 25 years. Man, I put millions of dollars through that bank. I've never had a problem in 25 years. A friend of mine reached out to me 6 months ago. Probably had, I don't know, I think he said he had over $15,000 in it. Been pushing money through there for years. Had 15,000 US dollars in it. I'm gonna find out it's gone. Bank's gone. Bank is not gone. It's a BPI bank. The money is gone. Go find out where the money is. They track it. They do everything in the world. Money's gone. Money's gone. You lost 15 grand right off the bat. Now, you're in a different country, in a different world. Why in the world would you want to put your money in that bank? Number one. Now, it's coming from my heart here. I mean, come on. Common sense. At least USA, they're back. You can track it. And at least get your deposit back and your money back. Here, I lost a card. They took my card. And only they take my card took $500, $400 and change. I got to tell you, it took me forever to get that money back. I got my card back that night. Or excuse me. Yeah, that night I had to go back and back and back and back. It took us 12 hours trying to get a card back. Money, forget it. I don't know, month or so, we got our money back. But it's me pressuring them and everything else. So I was going to talk about loans. And I off on this other stuff. But loans, I'm saying, if you're going to be careful on loans. There's a credit union here. We put $200 in it. And there's another credit union we put $200 in it. So we need funds, like $100 or $100. We'll go grab $100 and $100, and then that next month I'll throw money in there, and it's kind of like a savings returning on investment thing. They pay interest on it. You get like $10 a year, something like that, on that money that you got in there. We have one that has like, I think it's up to now like $500 in it, but just have it available. Can I afford to lose the money? No, I don't think anybody can afford to lose the money. But if you're going to do something like it, do something like that. Now, what they'll do, if you want to buy a motorcycle, they'll run a credit. They don't have credit, but they'll come to your house. What do you have to put up? Well, I get a Social Security check of $2,000 a month. Well, okay, we need to see subs. We need to see this. We need a letter from your bank. We need this from your bank. We need that from your bank in order to get a loan on a $1,000 bike. One guy said to me, Filipino said to me one time, if a guy's making $2,000 a month and he's going to want to get a loan on a $1,000 bike, why would he do that? I said, I don't know. Maybe $2,000 already slotted. Maybe he doesn't have that money anymore. Maybe he's paying off bills in the U.S. You never know what they're doing. He said, well, we denied him credit because even though, and I said, well, I understand. You don't have to explain to me. You know, I understand how the cookie crumbles. I know that if you're going to get a loan, and you're going to get a loan on land, for an example, it's best to buy the land with your wife. Your wife owns the land. I did it for the future here. I only did it for the future. I didn't buy it for me. I bought it for them. But I get benefit right while I'm living. I bought it for them for my grandchildren down the road that they're going to live here. They're going to live here forever. So, and even if ours in the U.S., somebody get benefit out of the land. She can come back here. She can retire here. She can be here. So what benefits? Big benefit. In order to buy and lease land, to get a loan, it's a lot of process. A friend of mine came here from California, bought a brand new truck, paid $30,000 for it, a brand new truck, and the guy says, listen, we're not used to handling cash. It's going to take a few days. Even though he's paying cash for the vehicle and he's sending cash here and he's paying for it, because of the process, it took him over, I think it ended up being like 10 days before he could actually take that vehicle and drive it. Now, why it took long, I have no idea. He said I have the money is here, the money is available, but it's because of transferring money and having money, and he said it ended up being kind of really a big hassle for me. And he said, I wish I didn't buy the truck, even though it's beneficial, even though I can drive around, but it's sort of like I wasted $30,000 of my money buying a truck when I could have just bought a multi-cab and bought a multi-cab for $2,000 or $3,000 or even $5,000 and had a real nice aircon multi-cab like what I have. And he said that would serve all the purpose I need. It's not like I'm hauling feed or anything else. So you have to really think about it before you purchase things. For me, I try not to ever go on credit. I try never to use credit. Even in US, I try not to use credit. I'm going to have to use credit one day to buy an RV, and it's okay. That's all right, because I'll figure that out. But other than that, I'm not going to have credit to buy a car or anything for me at that particular time. Now, I may end up buying a car instead of an RV, because may end up going to work or doing something else. Got a job offer yesterday. And my old company called me. When you coming back? I need you back. $20 an hour to start. I said, you were paying me $11. I got up to $14, you guys just raised sand, then got up to $16 an hour. But when I left, and we're complaining about that, now you want to hire me at 20. I said, in that case, pay me 25. And the lady's laughing, the recruiter is laughing, says, well, we can go up to 22. I said, really? Yeah. And I said, what is, and that's the same thing. So it would be doing the same thing. I'd be working for iPhone, again, as a subcontractor for iPhone. So, and it would be traveling around to, I think it said 12 retail establishments located in Central Florida. And so that would give man, you can't beat that. And of course, 22 an hour. And it's a 28 to 32 an hour a week job. It's not a full-time job. You only work like 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day on the high side, 4 or 5 days a week. So that's okay. And the time starts at 7 in the morning and ends whatever. Said you can take off on Monday, Tuesday, and do it all Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday if you want to, and work 12-hour shifts. It doesn't matter as long as it gets done. And what it is basically going in and putting up signs. You ever go in a store and how do those signs get there? How did that display get built? Well, somebody comes in and builds it. Not stores don't do it. They're vendors. So, okay, 22 an hour, I'd take it. If I was there, I'd do it. Why not? I'm not doing anything now. I'm making nothing now. I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to tell you about that. It's kind of cool. Hey, Ruth, I forgot to tell you yesterday. I'm on video. I got a job offer yesterday. They're in US, same company. God bless everybody, and I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures.